is yours.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you to all of you to host Roma, the Deputy Mayor for Mobility of Rome, but I want to begin not with Rome, but with all of us. Listen to the reports of this day. One truth keeps returning. From every city, in every language, we are fighting the same battles. To build 1 kilometer of protected lane, to get ordinary people, not athletes, onto a saddle, to bring our streets down to 30, and above all, to stop our citizens from dying on the road. And we fight these battles mostly without the right weapons. In April 2024, Europe finally said the word out loud, the European Declaration on Cycling, the first time Parliament, Council, and Commission agreed together that the cycle is a full mode of transport. That is a milestone, but let us be honest, in this room it is not binding, it sets no targets, and it comes with no dedicated money. Rules, resources, strategy, the three things that a mayor actually needs are too often simply not there. And people keep dying. Almost 20,000 lives more lost on Europe's roads in 2024, barely fewer than in 2019, when we promised to halve the number by 2030. Most of us are off track. Among the dead, more than 2,500 pedestrians and over 1,000 cyclists. Vision Zero is slipping away, not for lack of ideas, but for lack of follow-through. So the question for this plenary is blunt and universal. When the tools are missing, what do we have left? My answer is the title of this talk. We have a method and a stubborn kind of kindness. So let me show you with numbers that it works even in the hardest city I know. Because here is the paradox. When a city builds for bikes, why does it get angry in return? In Rome, every kilometer of lane becomes a public trial. And I understand why. Citizens see the cost long before the benefit. The parking space that disappears, the lane that narrows, the works that drag on for months. The network, connected, safe, continuous, stays invisible until the last segment is laid. So the gap between a cost you see today and a benefit you cannot see until tomorrow is where the backlash is born. The bikelash, so, is not about bikes. It is about unfinished networks. And it is a trap. People see fragments, so consensus collapses. Without consensus will softens. The works stretch. The compromises multiply. And we deliver one more isolated lane, which proves the critic's rights and feeds the next wave of anger. You do not break that circle by talking louder. You break it at one point only, by finishing the network until the benefit becomes as visible as the cost. That is the kindness as a method, not a feeling, but a discipline. Connect, measure, explain, and protect. So, from words to action. The basic plan of Rome in 3 years had 185 kilometers, reaching 516. And we will pass over 10 years 1,500 kilometers. We multiply our space 20-fold from the 100 meters of new lane a week to 2,000. But I'll owe you the truth about Rome, because the truth persuades. Rome is a UNESCO city. 8,000 kilometers of road, archaeology under nearly every junction, heritage authorities at nearly every crossing. Building here is not slow by neglect. It is slow by responsibility for a city that belongs to all the world. We upset the weight and we keep laying track. And when we opened our public consultation, 1,120 citizens wrote in, and the 81% asked us to do more, not less. The silent majority is not against us. It has been waiting for us to finish. So I think that sometimes we waste so much time to answer the people that shout in front of us. Just like Simon Garfunkel say, to listen to the sign of silence of majority. Does it work? The data answer. Where the network is continuous, people respond. On Via Nomentana, protected, continuous, we counted 424,000 cyclist passages in a single year, more than 1,100 a day. On the Angelico axis that brings to the Vatican a current route, 353,000. And the demand already lives in the people's home. In 3 years, bicycles owned by Roman households rose 63%, from 560,000 to over 917,000. We do not have to create the desire. We have to make it safe. Which brings me to the line that matters most. Kindness is not soft. Kindness saves lives. Between 2022 and 2025, most deaths in Rome fell by 19%. The first real reversal after years, confirmed by our National Statistics Institute. While Europe's core barely moved, our hardest city bent it. And here is why. The argument that finally softens the backlash. A cycle network is not a set of lines for cyclists. It is a redesign for the street itself. Raised crossing, school streets, 30 zone, environmental island. It protects the child walking to school, the grandmother crossing the road, the pedestrian who will never own a bike. When we explain it that way, people stop seeing a lane for them and started seeing a safer street for us. They recognize themselves in the benefit, and the anger fades. So let me stop telling for a while and start showing you. These are not renderings, these are streets in Rome today. This one is Via di San Gregorio, a monumental avenue in the shadow of the Palatine, just in front of the Colosseum and the Arc of Titus, where we gave space back to the people on foot and on 2 wheels. This is Via dell'Almone, a green corridor along the Almone, the little sacred river of ancient Rome. This is Via Guido Reni, a new axis in Flaminio, the quarter of the museums. This is a footbridge, a cyclist and pedestrian bridge that stitches together 2 neighborhoods the traffic had kept apart. This is Monteciocci Vaticano, a green ridge the city had once forgotten, now one of the most loved rides in Rome. Remember the paradox I opened with, the anger that meets every new lane. This is where it dissolves. Nobody here is debating whether the bikes belong. They are simply riding home. So, I leave you the method. 4 verbs you can carry to any city, with or without the rules and the resources from above. Connect. Finish the networks, because a fragment is a cost and the grid is a benefit. Measure. Count every passage. Data turns a noisy opinion into quiet, undeniable evidence. Explain. Give the networks a name, colors, a map, and our system of Bicipolitana read like a metro line. Protect. Design for the most vulnerable fist, and the safest street is the kindest one. Rome is, for the 7th year running, the cycle-friendly city. The art city can change, not by shouting, but building, measuring and caring until the benefit is impossible to ignore. And so, I will end. I began with all of us, and I end there. Method and kindness carried Rome this far. They are not substitute for what the government can do. A declaration is a beginning, not an arrival. The next step must be for Europe, for the continents, for our states, to turn good words into real strategy, with targets, common safety standards, and funding that reaches the city where the kilometers are laid and where the lives are saved. Rome has shown what a city can do alone. Imagine what our city could do if our states finally handed us the tools. Until the day we keep doing the kind things, which also the serious thing. We connect, we measure, we explain, we protect. One finished kilometer at a time. So thank you for your attention and for your kindness.